Hey everybody, what's up? Thanks so much for joining me. Glad that you are here. Hope you are safe, awesome, and crushing it, and that you're not only surviving, but that you're in fact thriving. Tim here, and the title for today is going to be Act as if it's impossible to fail. So right now we're in the middle of August. It's hot, it's nasty, but one of the cool things that happens every August is Shark Week rolls around. And if you're like me, you are just watching as many episodes as you can grab, because ever since I've been a little kid, I have just loved sharks. One of the things on my bucket list is to do a cage dive with the white sharks, and if I'm so brave, maybe even a free dive. And when you check these programs out and you watch these divers, it's absolutely crazy to see them in the water with these 13, 15, 16, sometimes even longer white sharks. And these sharks are massive and they could totally chop them in half, but these divers are just down there and they're hanging in there with them and they're holding their own. And to the sharks, they're just another shark. They're just another sea creature. And I think that speaks a lot as to the way that you and I should show up in life. Now, right now, with everything that's going on, there is a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, and a lot of doubt. And if we focus on that, that's what we're going to get more of. But if we fight against that and stand against it, we're going to find ourselves pulling out of that and not only lighting our own lives up, but being an inspiration to the people around us. And I think that's what we're called to do. So what do we do when fear comes calling? How do we show up? How do we respond? Well, first of all, what we need to understand is that fear can actually manifest itself. And the reason for that is because whatever you and I are afraid of, we believe in it. We believe in its power, we believe in its ability, and we believe that can impact us in a negative way. Now, from a universal law standpoint, we know that beliefs manifest themselves. And whether they're faith-filled beliefs or fear-filled beliefs, we're actually going to live those beliefs out. So the very fact that we believe in the fear can magnetize it and draw it into us. But even if we're not talking about the universal laws, just simply once we believe something to be true, we start to act in a way it's true, and we can produce those results in a very mechanical way, in a very linear and tangible way. So that's why we have to do everything we can to turn our belief into a positive direction and pull it out of the negative direction, because we will literally pull into our life either those positives or those negatives that we believe to be true. So what do we do when fear comes calling? Well, if you watch those divers with the white sharks, especially the ones that dive outside the cage, that are literally totally exposed, there's nothing in between them and the white shark but water. When you watch how they interact with the sharks, they don't cower, they don't pull back, they don't act like they are the prey and the shark's the predator. They act like they're an equal. And as a matter of fact, if they feel the shark starting to get a little too aggressive, they in fact will move toward the shark and they'll take up a more aggressive standpoint. And when they do that, they find the shark backs down, because the shark realizes that in the mind of whatever it is it's looking at, in this case it's the diver, that diver or that sea creature, like the shark sees it as being, obviously is confident and powerful, otherwise it wouldn't be coming at me. Because I'm a white shark, I'm one of the most powerful things in the ocean, and I can totally chop it in half. But if it's posturing against me, if it's showing confidence and self-assurance, obviously there's something there, and I better not mess with it. Well, that's one of the best ways that you and I can attack fear. Now, there are all kinds of ways to attack fear. There's breathing exercises, there's affirmations, there's visualizations, but one of the most powerful things you and I can do is take action. Because when we act, even if it's a small action, many times it takes the illusion of fear and it crushes it. Because oftentimes fear is just simply casting a big shadow, and most of the things we fear, thank God, don't even come to pass. So when we take action, we find out that the fear is actually smaller than what we imagine. Just like those divers take action, they start to move toward the shark, they actually move into the shark. We need to step into our fear. And the way we do that is we simply ask ourselves, what is the smallest possible act that I can take right now that's going to help me to attack this and overcome it? We don't need to attack the whole thing at once. We just need to begin to move forward. Right now I'm on the campuses of one of the biggest churches in our area, and I actually attend this church, so I think it's totally appropriate to bring up a biblically based story. And one of my favorites is the story of David and Goliath. And we know that David was a shepherd boy, he was small, he was probably an adolescent, and he took on this 9-foot giant Goliath. And what did he do when he got to confront the giant? What did he do when he faced the giant on the battlefield? Well, the Bible tells us he ran toward the giant. He ran toward the thing that he was afraid of. He moved in the direction of his fear. Now, obviously, David knew he was backed by God, and hopefully you and I share that same sentiment, because when we're standing on God's promises and his words, we're unstoppable, and you're backed by the most powerful force in the universe. At the same time, we need to act as well. And that means that we need to move toward the thing that we're afraid of. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to act as if it's impossible to fail. Because when you start to act as if it's impossible to fail, you begin to believe it, and your actions correlate. Your confidence comes up. You're more self-assured, and you find that you can literally attack that thing that you're afraid of. And many times, just like the shadow, you find that fear dissipates and it disappears. So ask yourself, what's the action that I could take right now to attack that fear? How would I be acting if I knew it were impossible to fail? How would I act if I was like that diver? I was swimming toward the shark, not away from it. How would I act if I was like David, running toward Goliath and not away from him? Because you'll find that when you move toward your fear backs up. And when you come with a disposition of confidence and self-assuredness, your fear goes away, because your fear works on intimidation. And one of the best weapons we can direct toward anything is to give back to that thing that's intimidating us exactly what it's directing toward us. So if fear's trying to scare us and intimidate us, how do we act? We act with confidence and courage, and we literally scare fear and we intimidate fear in return. So what are you afraid of today? And how are you acting? I would challenge you. Run towards your fear, run into it, and act as if it were impossible to fail. Because like I said, when you're backed by God himself and you're standing on his promises, and then you take that and you act on it and you attack the fear and you move forward towards it, you're going to find that many times it's just an illusion. And even if it's not, simply by taking one small act after another small act, you're going to dismantle it piece by piece by piece. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How does the diver scare off the white shark? By swimming towards it and acting like it's his equal or better than, rather than swimming away. How did David defeat Goliath? He ran towards him and not away from him. So stop cowarding. Stop letting fear come into your house and push you around. Fight back. Gain your confidence. Stand. Act. Move towards it, not away from it. And you will find not only does it disappear, but you conquer it, and your confidence and self-assuredness is going to climb to a whole new level. This is Tim with today's SCE. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Act as if it's impossible to fail, and watch fear vanish. Have a great one. I'll talk to you soon.